Louis de la Bourdonnais was a French chess master who won a game of chess with these 3 pawns in a way that you've never seen before. This game is almost 200 years old. It was played in 1834. He was playing against Alexander MacDonald, and they play a Sicilian. D4, he takes the pawn. He plays E5, attacking the knight, and MacDonald trades. Bishop C4, Bourdonnais plays knight F6, attacking the pawn on E4. Bishop G5 pins the knight. He breaks the pin, and Queen E2 now defends the pawn. Bourdonnais plays D5. And remember, as we watch this game, pay close attention to these 3 pawns, because in a normal game of chess, these pawns get traded off, and you don't just win with these 3 pawns. It just doesn't happen. But watch this game. He takes the knight. He takes back. He retreats the bishop. Castles, castles. Both players get the kings out of the center. A5. Why did he play A5? He wants to trap the bishop. He also wants to go here with a nice sneaky little skewer. Very sneaky move. So what does white do? I mean, he's got a lot of problems here, right? He takes. Because now if you try to go here, you've got bishop C4. And if you try to trap the bishop, you also have bishop C4. Pretty good move. He takes back. Rook to D1. So he avoids the skewer. And at the same time, if you now try to trap the bishop, thank you very much. He's coming in here, taking the pawn, and everything falls apart for black. Okay, pretty good play here from white. D4. And now maybe he still wants to play A4, although the bishop's not going to be trapped. White makes, I would say, a questionable move here. He plays C4. The reason I say questionable is because you've given black this passed pawn, which you didn't have to do. So I don't know how I feel about that, but let's keep going. Queen to B6, bishop to C2. He blunders the pawn on B2, but black didn't take it. Why not? Because that was actually a trap. Hopefully you guys noticed that when I said that. You're lining up with the queen here, which means the bishop can just sacrifice itself with a check, and now you lose your queen. Okay? Of course, Bourdonnais did not fall for that and instead played bishop to B7. All right, let's keep going. Knight to D2 brings a rook over. The knight jumps into the center. Bishop retreats. C5, queen to C6. By the way, this is a really good idea when you're playing chess to create what's called batteries, where you line up your queen and your bishop. Sometimes you can do it with a rook and a queen or 2 rooks. But this is very dangerous because if this knight just moves somewhere, thank you very much. Checkmate. It's a very easy thing to do. It's very powerful. So Bourdonnais goes with the battery on C6. And white says, yeah, I don't think I like that. I'm going to play F3 to kind of stop that threat right there. Bishop goes back to E7, targeting the pawn on C5. Rook A to C1. He plays F5. Question for you guys, why did he not take the pawn? He's got 2 attackers, only 1 defender. Why didn't he take it? Hopefully you notice it's the exact same trick, not the exact same, but a very similar trick we saw before where the bishop is going to sacrifice itself to open up another long-range piece and you lose your queen. Okay, so watch out for those discovered attacks where there's a long-range piece lined up because all they have to do is move the piece out of the way and then you're in trouble, right? So same kind of thing that we saw earlier. So, of course, he doesn't take the pawn and instead plays the move F5, attacking the knight. Now, white has to deal with this, and if you move the knight, you're going to be losing maybe your pawn. So instead, he comes up with a different solution. If you'd like to pause, what did white play here? That's correct. Queen to C4 check. Very nice move. Forces the king in the corner, and then bishop A4. He goes on the offensive. I really like white's style here. Even though Stockfish doesn't agree with it, he is putting the pressure on black. Queen to H6. Takes the rook on E8. And Bourdonnais takes the knight on E4. Remember, pay close attention to these 3 pawns, particularly as we go through the rest of this game, because what's going to happen, it's going to blow your mind. At least it blew my mind. All right, C6. White goes on the offensive. What do you play here as black? Well, he didn't save his bishop. E takes F3, the first brilliant move of the game. He says, go ahead and take me. I have something in store if you do. Can you guys find it? This did not happen in the game. In the game, he played rook C2. But if white would have captured, what was black's idea? Well, if you had a chance to look at that, it's queen E3 check. The king is going to try to hide, but you can't because the pawn's going to force it to come out. Then you come down with your rook. You can try to go back, but then you snap this pawn off, opening up the queen here. And then after check, you have checkmate. All right, that's forced. There's no way for white to stop that. So if you take the bishop over here on B7, you lose immediately. Now, white's a good player. So he decides to play on and plays rook c2, a nice defensive move, stopping some of those checkmating ideas. Bourdonnais continues the attack, though, with queen e3 check. Now, this was actually, according to Stockfish, a mistake, but only if white plays the move rook f2 to defend, and somehow you're holding on here, even though it looks very scary, very dangerous. There's queen e2, and Stockfish says white is okay. So the winning move, if you're wondering, was actually bishop a6. Sacrificing this, now you can push this pawn according to Stockfish, and only then come in with the queen, and then push this pawn. It's outside the scope of this video, but that was the winning line. Now, of course, these players were playing this game like 200 years ago in 1834. They didn't have engines. Nobody knew any of this stuff. They're just two guys playing chess, right? So we get queen e3 check. King h1. I mean, this is what I would probably do, like try to get my king away from the danger, right? Bishop c8. Now he saves the bishop. Bishop d7. f2. He doesn't even worry about this. He pushes the pawn. Now we have something really interesting. We have 3 connected passed pawns. Remember, in chess, a passed pawn is a pawn that has no pawns that can stop it from becoming a queen. So this is a pretty big deal for black, but white has some threats of their own. And you're going to see that over the next couple of moves. So first, he plays rook f1, stopping this pawn from moving forward. d3. Bourdonnais is just pushing, right? He's just pushing. Rook to c3. Bishop takes d7. Pawn takes, and e4. He's just pushing the pawns, and white has to figure out a way to stop. Now, queen to c8. What do you do if you're black? Do you take the queen? The answer is a resounding no. Taking the queen would be a huge blunder, because now you just get back rank checkmated, right? So there's this interesting dynamic that happens in chess when you have a pawn on the 7th rank defending another piece. You can't ever really take the piece, even if it's a queen, because when the pawn recaptures, there's another queen there, right? So you don't want to do that. So instead of that, Bourdonnais decides to blockade the pawn to prevent it from becoming a queen. Bishop to d8. Queen goes back to c4. And what do you think Bourdonnais played in this position? Queen to e1. It's the same concept that I just talked about. White doesn't want to take the queen because he just gets replaced with another queen, and that's game over, right? So queen e1, very nice move. Okay. Rook to c1. He's not going to give up yet. He's going to defend. So if you take that, he just recaptures and white's actually winning. So what does Bourdonnais do? That's correct. Push the pawn, d2. Queen to c5. Should you take the rook? No. White is actually threatening their own checkmate. So yeah, it would be nice to get 2 queens, but you lose the game, right? So you can't do that. So what does he do? Just saves the rook. Just slides it over. Keeps his king nice and safe. He stopped the pawn. He's avoided the queen. And now it's a question of, can these 3 pawns get past 2 rooks? Right? Because of course, white's going to try to stop you. So white plays rook to d1. So we have this really interesting position where you can't take the queen with either rook, because if you do, it just gets replaced with another queen and you're even worse off because now you're down a rook. And on the other hand, black doesn't want to take either one of the rooks because then the rook just recaptures. So we have this blockade that I mean, this is like, what? This doesn't look like chess. This looks like some composed puzzle or something. This is wild. So what does he do? Yeah, e3. Plays e3. It gets even weirder. And it's not over yet because white's going to try to defend queen c3. Pause the video. What do you think Bourdonnais played to finish off the game here? All right, if you had a chance to look at that, the move he played was queen takes d1, the second brilliant move of the game, and it finished off with e2. d2, e2, f2, and black is totally winning. The 3 pawns are winning this game. There's nothing that you can do. Yeah, you could take this if you want. Instant back rank checkmate. You could take with your queen. It doesn't really help you. Same thing. It's going to be a back rank checkmate. There's nothing else for what you could try to run. It doesn't matter if you're white, you could, or if you're black, you can basically do whatever you want. You could take this and get a queen. You could probably push here and get a queen. It's just winning for black, however you look at it. So really nice game. I've never seen anything like this. Like when I saw this game, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. He has 3 pawns in the second rank. I was like jumping to the end of the game. I'm like, how did this happen? All right, this is wild stuff. Hope you guys can appreciate that. I'll show you the game review quickly here. So here's what the game review looks like. Pretty nice from Black. 2 brilliant moves, 88. There was that one mistake where he played the queen check. Super complicated position. Stockfish was showing some like wild lines there. But other than that, really nice game. And yeah, I hope you guys can appreciate this position. Sorry, not that position. This position right here. Hopefully that made it worth it for you guys. Thanks for watching. As always, stay sharp, play smart, and take care.